So Jinwoo comes up against a dungeon, job change dungeon, that ends up being something that is way more than he's ever had before. And honestly, in this fight, he got absolutely bodied by the main boss, Igris the Blood Red. If it wasn't for luck to actually save him, he would not be alive at this moment. But we gotta give it up. The fact is, it doesn't matter what your stats are, luck does make a difference. So here we are with Jinwoo going into the job change dungeon, which I'm surprised that he didn't do the daily quest, because the last interactions he's had against bosses, the one thing that has saved him was the full recover mechanic that came from the daily quest. So when he says, oh yeah, I haven't done my daily quest for the day, oh, he's about to go into the unknown, something unfamiliar. How could he not do the daily quest? I mean, I would think that he would have the daily quest done, so then that way he can have the full recover in his back pocket. So just in case something goes awry, i.e. that he's been doing in these last few fights against the assassin, against several bosses, he full recover, bam, he's good. He doesn't even do it. So it's only by the grace of God that he goes into the dungeon, and even if he did do it, full recover and all healing aspects would not work. So I was like, okay, it's a good thing that he hasn't actually done it, because then it would be wasted. I guess he kind of lucked out there as well. If he had done it, then it wouldn't have mattered. The full recover wouldn't have helped him. Now, I love how this episode was animated, because this episode was way more animated than I thought it was going to be, and they did such a great job in the animations and the fights between Jinwoo and Igris, because he goes into this and he's like, dang, I don't have a weapon that can actually pierce through the armor of these knights. So he's like, you know what, I'm going to use my strength to actually do something. And it just so happens that he puts down his weapon, and Igris, the Blood Red's like, you know what? Honorable thing. I'll put down all of my weapons as well. And takes the cloak off like he's going to get into some serious business. What was going on? This is like Mortal Kombat. Dude got juggled like crazy. I don't know I saw this, but Jinwoo comes up here and does a spinning side kick like Chung-Li, and I'm like, oh, snap. Okay. All right, maybe he's going to do something. Nope, he's in the air. So he just gets bodied so hard. And it was funny how he says, oh, we have, it seems like our speed might be the same, might match. I'm like, Jinwoo, excuse me, what fight have you been looking at? Because the fight I'm looking at, Igris looks to be a lot faster than you, especially as he goes like instantaneously in front of you. So yeah, he's getting outclassed hard. Like I said, if it wasn't for some luck, even he says that this would have gone a different way. Now, as far as differences, honestly, there wasn't really a whole lot. There might have been a few lines here and there that was clarified for language's sake. For example, like when he sliced the pillars in the manhwa, it was said he sliced them like tofu, but in here it was said that he sliced it like dry branches, which of course has a better clarity. Honestly, the real biggest thing I saw was here when Jinwoo is like on the throne, because he's like, he fell on the throne from the wall that's right above. Igris was actually on the side of him. So Jinwoo actually, as you can see, he's like on the left-hand side of the throne, and he's kind of like hanging on it by the left-hand side. Technically in the manhwa, he was on the right-hand side, to where Igris was on the was turned around to where he was going to chop off Jinwoo's head, almost execution style, to where he's going to come down on the sword, slice off his head, and go from there. Here, he was pretty much in front of Jinwoo, and of course got the sword and was going to slice Jinwoo from the front of him. And then that's when Jinwoo caught the sword. Now, I wanted to bring this up for clarity's sake, and I thought some people might actually be kind of like, well, that's a little weird, was the fact that Jinwoo caught the sword. Now, of course, it shows the image of the gauntlet, like as he caught the sword. So you're kind of like, oh, why is he able to catch a sword now? While in the midst of the fight, he was so ready to dodge the sword strikes as if it's going to cleave him in two. But I wanted to bring up the fact that the gauntlet's effect doesn't cause damage to his hands. So as it's coming down and he catches it, his hands are protected from, like, you know, the sword going through his hand and actually like going through him, his body. It's just the fact that he was able to survive and utilize the special skill of the actual gauntlet to make him live through this moment and then catch Egress by surprise and then stab him in the eye and finish him off. Now, one of the main things I did want to talk about, which seemed glaringly obvious, but something that I thought was a big symbolic thing that I could not overlook. When Jinwoo first got into the boss room, he sees Egress the Blood Red in front, as even he said, an empty throne. Why is that throne there to begin with, if it's not to be used as something symbolic? Here you have a knight, and of course a knight's job is to protect the king. Well, there is no king. The throne is empty. There's no one there. And then here you have, at the very end of the fight, all of a sudden we have Jinwoo actually sitting on the throne. And after he sits on the throne, he's able to make a reversal and actually defeat Egress, the knight who was protecting the throne. And then Jinwoo basically is the one that's superior, who is on top. So the throne itself is like a symbolic message that here is your king. Here is your new person that is going to be sitting on this throne, who is somebody that you should be serving. He's not there to begin with. Egress the Blood Red is sitting there waiting for said person to rule over and to follow. And then bam, Egress gets defeated and Jinwoo is actually sitting on the throne. Which of course is symbolic because the fact is, through this battle and through this fight, he's only going to get stronger, and soon he's going to be able to be stronger than everybody else, and he and still will be king. So I felt like that symbolic allusion to what might happen in the future was just so powerful that it really can't be overlooked. This is your king. This is who it should be, and this is who will rise up and be the king in the future. Honestly, I can't say anything more than that or else spoilers, but I will leave it at that, and maybe we could talk more about that next week's episode, depending how the season finale goes. This was a great episode. The fighting was immaculate. Will definitely go down as one of the best fight scenes in anime in general. Almost a one-sided fight, especially how Jinwoo was getting comboed. Make sure you guys check out my reaction on Patreon, because I was in pretty much in awe here as the fight was going down. But it was very good and very well done and very well animated. We'll be back for more analysis in the future, and make sure you guys tune in here first. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you're subscribed for more. You guys take care. Be safe, Lord willing. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye for now. Make sure to check out the extra content on our Patreon page, and thanks to our current patrons.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.